If you're having second thoughts, I promise, you're going to come down here, you're going to see all these people lined up, and you're going to say, man, I wish I was down there with the band. We're getting real close. Y'all might want to hurry up. All right, hurry, here we go.
Please go.
Follow me. How about one more round of applause for that outstanding kick line? I have to say, I think that was the first time we've ever had 3 rows of a kick line. So give yourselves one more round of applause. Great job, y'all. But we all know why you are here. It's not for a band. It's not for a kick line. It's for your soldiers that are right back there. So what I want to know right now is how many of you are excited to see your soldiers march across the field this morning? That's pretty good. But I think we have about 4,000 plus people out here, and I know we can do better. So let me put this in context for you. Your soldier has spent months training. They raised their right hand to defend our great nation, and we are so proud of them, as I know you are. So let's try this one more time. I'm going to count to 3, and I want you to make as much noise as possible to get those soldiers pumped up. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's exactly what we're talking about, ladies and gentlemen. Hula. In the army, we say hula. So the last song that we're going to play for you today, I think will take on a little bit of a different meaning for you and your loved ones that are here this morning. The last song that we're going to play for you is God Bless America. And why I think this song might take on a different meaning for you is because your soldier raised their right hand to defend this great nation that we love. And may God continue to protect our nation and your soldiers. So we ask that would you please stand and join us by proudly singing, God Bless America. To the prairies, to the oceans, why we fall. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Thank you so much. Please be seated and you'll see your soldier real soon. For over 60 years, the musicians of the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band have taken great pride in entertaining the soldiers, families, and civilians of the Forbidden, Columbus, and Phoenix City communities. Through music, they share the story of our nation and its soldiers worldwide. The MCOA band, with its 8 performing groups, accomplishes over 400 missions a year in support of the military and civilian communities in and around Fort Benning. The band leads by the Maneuver Center of Excellence motto, one force, one fight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for your Maneuver Center of Excellence band!
Ladies and gentlemen, if you lost an Apple Watch, you may retrieve it at the front podium. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in 3 minutes. Before the ceremony begins, we ask that you silence all electronic devices and refrain from smoking during the ceremony.
Basic training support. Currently has about 32 agents. She goes. And I said to her what I had to eat because I wanted a donut. And she said, "Yeah, what you're doing a donut? A dozen of donuts?" Yeah. And then I said, "I'm dead. Bring me one." And she goes, "I'm go over there."
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Infantry Museum and Soldier Center and to this graduation. A few quick announcements before we get the ceremony kicked off. There are concessions, restrooms, and a smoking area located behind the grandstands. We ask that you please do not smoke in the grandstands. While you're waiting for the ceremony to begin, you're invited to use our free Wi-Fi to share your pictures online or to plan the rest of your visit. There will be a live video of this graduation streaming on the National Infantry Museum Facebook page. Make sure to text your friends and family and let them know that they too can see their soldier graduate in real time on the National Infantry Museum Facebook page. Following the ceremony, we invite you and your soldier to explore all that the NIM has to offer. On display are countless artifacts detailing the history of the infantry in a world-class and award-winning facility. In addition, there are several attractions to entertain and educate. Explore our meticulously restored World War II street and our memorials to the global war on terrorism and the Vietnam Wall. Put yourself in the boots of our nation's finest in our combat simulators and brand new rifle range. Watch a historical documentary in our giant screen theater or relax over lunch in our full-service Fife and Drum restaurant. The National Infantry Museum is a place to remember and appreciate the importance of our military and the infantry in particular in maintaining our freedoms. Also, it is a free museum with a suggested $5 donation. We thank you for attending today. We thank our veterans in attendance for their service, and we congratulate today's graduating soldiers.
Distinguished guests, friends, and family members of Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, and Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment. On behalf of Major General Brito and Command Sergeant Major Celestine of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Hodney and Command Sergeant Major Fortenberry of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking this time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand? Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans who kept our country free under peace and conflict. Thank you. For 244 years, American infantrymen have quietly gone about their duty that has taken them to historic battlefields on many of the Earth's continents. Infantrymen stood fast on the bloody battlefields within our own borders, creating a republic and saving a union. They defeated our nation's enemies in Mexico, Cuba, and China. These warriors scorned the Kaiser in the trenches of France and defeated fascism in Germany and Italy. They set the rising sun of Imperial Japan on 1,000 islands in the Pacific and stood firm against communists in the mountains and the snows of Korea and in the steamy jungles of Southeast Asia. Infantrymen won the Cold War and preserved peace in the far-reaching places like South Korea and Europe by their vigilant presence and spread freedom in Grenada, Panama, Kuwait, and Somalia with their sweat and blood. Infantrymen left the comfort of their families and endured the most demanding conditions of cold and heat, of dust and mud, of desert and jungle to fight our nation's wars. These young soldiers, soon to be in front of you today, all volunteers, joined the Army and the infantry in a time of war. They chose to serve their nation, knowing that they may be deployed to Afghanistan by their commander-in-chief. To commemorate the sacrifices of those who went before and to tangibly link the commitment of today's soldiers with their legendary predecessors, this beautiful parade ground was seeded with soil taken from significant battlefields in our nation's history. On March 19, 2009, a hero or descendant of a hero of these battles spread soil on the very place where your soldiers will walk. These battles include Yorktown, Antietam, Soissons, Corregidor, Normandy, San Terenzo, Korea, LZ X-Ray, Iraq, and Afghanistan. When these young men march proudly past you, they will actually be walking on the ground hallowed by their infantry forefathers. One of those leaders was 2nd Lieutenant Daniel K. Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On 12 September 2014, soil was spread on this parade field from San Terenzo, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in his honor. In 1997, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945 at San Terenzo. As a platoon leader in the 4th of the 42nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, 2nd Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant and aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, led his platoon to advance through fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended and fortified ridge known as Col Musatello outside the town of San Terenzo, Italy. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantrymen. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These soldiers are imbued with the warrior ethos and display the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and they can take great pride in their accomplishments. This ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the results of which are these superb infantry soldiers prepared to take their places in infantry units around the world. Like you, we are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. On the far side of the parade field, the World War II Company Street serves as a constant reminder of the time-honored traditions and values of America's greatest generation, those infantry who walked before us. In just a few moments, out from the past will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad, the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. Infantrymen have the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearer for all the armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantryman must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantrymen graduating today are accomplished marksmen and indirect fire infantrymen, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mechanized force from strikers or gravities, from the sky, as airborne or air assault, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots who at a time of war raise their right hand in sworn oath to God and country, to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. If called upon to fight building to building in Baghdad or Fallujah in Iraq, to clear the ridges of Mazar-e-Sharif in Jalalabad in Afghanistan, or to deliver aid and provide security in the Horn of Africa or the Caribbean, these warriors make the difference in this global war on terror. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. They are armed with an M4 carbine. The M4 carbine is the latest evolution of the M16 family and is designed for use in vehicles and close quarters combat. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed with an M4 carbine. This carbine is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M68 close combat optic and an AN-PEG-15 infrared laser designator used to engage targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. They are armed with an M249 squad automatic weapon. This is the squad and vehicle machine gun. It has a sustained rate of fire of 85 rounds per minute and weighs 17 pounds. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. They are armed with an M4 carbine and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with an M4 carbine and the M136 AT4 anti-tank launcher. The AT4 fires an 84 shaped millimeter charge capable of defeating up to 14 inches of rolled homogeneous steel and breaching bunkers or masonry walls in urban structures. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the advanced combat helmet with an AN-PVS 14 monocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldier to see in low or no light conditions. Coupled with the laser designator on their weapon, they can place effective fire on all targets at night. On their torso, they are wearing the Improved Outer Tactical Vest, or IOTV, which consists of 4 armored plates capable of stopping small arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, he is wearing ballistic eye protection, knee and elbow pads, and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's squads are from Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, and Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, and in any type of terrain against any enemy. These infantrymen are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Army Infantry Rifle Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now returning to the parade field is the United States Army Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major Sergeant First Class Philip Andrews, and commanded by Captain Aaron Morris. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching onto the parade field are the infantrymen from Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, and Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment. The company commander for Alpha Company is Captain Suarez, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Wells. The company commander for Charlie Company is Captain Tiahy, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Reed. The company commander for Delta Company is Captain Woods, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Folk. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Major Heath, Executive Officer of 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. Captain Fletcher, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment Chaplain, will offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Almighty God of liberty and peace, in a world where some seek power to oppress and destroy liberty, we give you thanks that we enjoy freedom. We recognize that with that freedom comes a great responsibility to both maintain it and to spread it. Therefore, may the fire of freedom burn bright in these new soldiers' hearts, that they may take on this noble calling to defend our nation. May they be a terror to those who seek to oppress and destroy liberty, and may they be a beacon of hope and peace to all in the world who desire freedom. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Massari, and the Operations Sergeant Major, Master Sergeant Millette. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you're not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The companies standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantryman: the cross rifle insignia with the blue background disc and the blue infantry cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry on the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue discs, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, United States Army infantrymen. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantrymen are the drill sergeants, who are carefully selected by the Department of the Army. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Sams, will recite the Drill Sergeant Creed.
Drill Sergeant Creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their effort to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in online training, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task that I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The drill sergeants of the cycle and distinguished honor graduates will each receive the Army Achievement Medal, a 1-year membership in the National Infantry Association, and plaques from the United States Armed Forces Association and the Non-Commissioned Officers Association for outstanding performance, as well as a gift card from Ranger Joe's. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Sams from Marietta, Ohio. Colleen Sams is being presented a bouquet of red roses. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment is Private Hine from Emporium, Pennsylvania. His follow-on assignment is Fort Stewart, Georgia.
Yay,
Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Holder from Makawao, Hawaii. Alexander Holder is being presented a bouquet of red flowers. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is Private Anderson from Portland, Oregon. His follow-on assignment is Fort Lewis, Washington. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award for Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is Drill Sergeant Fink from Portland, Oregon. Cassandra Fink is being presented a bouquet of red flowers. The Distinguished Honor Graduate for Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is Private Chagoya from Salt Lake City, Utah. His follow-on assignment is the Ranger Assessment and Selection Program. The Civilian of the Cycle Award for Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is awarded to Ernest Menzi. The Civilian of the Cycle Award for Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is awarded to Lisa Jones. The Civilian of the Cycle Award for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment is awarded to Charlie Kania. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers and civilians one more round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Masari.
Good morning. Distinguished guests, families, friends, on behalf of the 188th Brigade Command Team, Colonel Warriors and Sergeant Major Blunt, as well as myself, Sergeant Major Kip Burris, and all the members of 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment, welcome to Fort Benning, to the graduation ceremony of the Army's newest infantry soldiers. Seeing families from across the country come together to celebrate the accomplishments of their loved ones is inspiring. Thank you for being with us today to mark this important milestone in their lives. But more important than that, thank you for raising the young men who have volunteered to serve in the most demanding job in the Army during a time of war. It was 14 short weeks ago they all came to us as civilians, and under the expert mentorship and coaching from our drill sergeants and civilian training staff, were transformed into fine soldiers you see standing before you today. They are no longer a group of individuals. They are now members of a team that is trained and ready to join the ranks of the most powerful professional army in the history of the world. People are this nation's and this Army's greatest resource. A military unit is not a building or a set of equipment. It's people, like your loved ones, that make our country great. Thank you for entrusting us with their care and training. As you probably noticed over the last few days, they walk a little taller and look a little prouder. Know that they always had this in them. It's something you all, sitting in the stands, have instilled and developed in them over the years. We just help pull back the layers and bring some of those qualities to the surface. Speaking of people that make our units great, I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band. You all, as always, sound excellent and bring an added touch of class to any ceremony. It's great to have you as teammates, and it's always great to see soldiers enjoying their jobs. Let's give the band a round of applause. I cannot think of a better way to start this Veterans Day weekend than with getting ready to send almost 700 infantrymen out in the force. Veterans Day, originally known as Armistice Day, was initially intended to mark the anniversary of the end of hostilities of World War I, which at the time was known as the Great War or the War to End All Wars. However, just over 20 years after that, the United States found themselves once again engaged in another global conflict. Today, Veterans Day honors all of us who served in our armed forces. There's a long storied heritage spanning over 200 years that stretches back to the Continental Army that fought for our independence, the greatest generation that stormed the beaches of Normandy and island top across the Pacific, to our Vietnam veterans who fought in the Ai Valley and the Mekong Delta, as well as the modern day warriors that fought in the streets of Iraq and the mountains of Afghanistan. We have veterans present among us today who represent the span of modern conflict, who have faced the enemies of our nation on foreign shores, across generations, and who have paved the way for the legacy for those serving today. We are truly walking in the footsteps of giants. Thank you. I'd like to remind everyone that the strength of our nation is our Army, the strength of our Army is the soldiers, and the strength of our soldiers is their family. To the families, know that your travel to this ceremony continue to support your soldiers and our military is truly appreciated and will be needed for all of us, especially these young men, in the years to come. Lastly, to our new infantry soldiers, you've heard the call, raised your hand, and said, "Send me." You represent the best that America has to offer. Remember to always be proud of your accomplishments, but never satisfied with them. As you walk across this parade field today, ready to join your units across the world, know in your hearts, as I do mine, that you're ready for the challenges that lie ahead. As history and our current conflicts demonstrate, you will soon answer the call to fight and defend this great country to keep it free of tyranny and safe from oppression. Myself and the drill sergeants trust that you are ready. Once again, thank you for coming to Fort Benning. One force, one fight, follow me, brave and bold, Raiders never quit. God bless America, God bless our soldiers. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. We invite all soldiers, both past and present, to stand and join us as the Soldier of the Cycle from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment, Robin Hine, leads the Army's newest infantrymen in the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed. I am an American soldier.
I'm an American soldier!
I am a warrior and member of a team.
I'm a warrior and member of a team!
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values.
I serve the people of the United States and live the Army values!
I will always place the mission first.
I will always place the mission first!
I will never accept defeat.
I will never accept defeat!
I will never quit.
I will never quit!
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
I will never leave a fallen comrade!
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough.
I am disciplined, physically and mentally tough.
Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
Trained and proficient in my warrior tasks and drills.
I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I will always maintain my arms, my equipment, and myself.
I'm an expert and I'm a professional.
I'm an expert and I'm a professional.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, and destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I stand ready to deploy, engage, destroy the enemies of the United States of America in close combat.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am a guardian of freedom and the American way of life.
I am an American soldier.
I'm an American soldier.
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in your seats until the band has completely left the field and the commander of troops reports the conclusion of the ceremony. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is from Chicago, Illinois. Now approaching the reviewing stand is the Maneuver Center of Excellence Band, led by Drum Major Sergeant First Class Philip Andrew, commanded by Captain Aaron Morris. Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Ronald Suarez from Tom River, New Jersey. The Senior Drill Sergeant from 1st Platoon is Sergeant First Class Tyler Bean from Melbourne, Ohio. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Kevin Richards from Taylor, Michigan. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Jason Magnuson from Eugene, Oregon. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Staff Sergeant Jason Andrade from Austin, Texas. The First Sergeant for Alpha Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Pleasant Wells from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Sean Tierney from American Samoa. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Philip Salisbury from Flat Rock, Michigan. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Gordy Bernard from Chicago, Illinois. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Chet Trineri from Crystal River, Florida. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Staff Sergeant Troy Cordes from Potomac, Illinois. The First Sergeant for Charlie Company, 3rd Battalion, 47th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Jason Reed from Kirtland, New Mexico. Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Connor Woods from Jersey City, New Jersey. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 1st Platoon is Staff Sergeant Andrew Edwards from Cincinnati, Ohio. The Senior Drill Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Scott Gagnon from Boston, Massachusetts. Drill Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Carlos Gardner from El Paso, Texas.
He's right there. Okay, so see that there. Yes, he's in the end.
The Senior Drill Sergeant for 4th Platoon is Staff Sergeant Armando Alvarado Jr. from Bowling Green, Florida. The First Sergeant for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 29th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Justin Folk from Tucson, Arizona. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the band plays the infantry song and the army song. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 198th Infantry Brigade Commander, Colonel Voorhees, and the Brigade Command Sergeant Major Blunt, we thank you for attending today's graduation ceremony. You may now join your soldier in the formation area in front of the museum. Have a safe journey home. Follow me.